Okay. Oh, okay, I'm unmuting us. So.
Yeah, for advice and accountability of success. I couldn't pick on it, so we couldn't give you advice on that. It was just not gonna happen. So that brings me, I think we should bail on this and make a better deal.
Yeah, listen to that and almost makes you want to.
I just showed you. Pass it on. That is ironclad. I've never seen one written like that. I mean, click in a couple of pages.
Was you have to watch it because you have.
Okay. I'll take care of that.
Attention recording now.
Okay, we're recording now. So, Michael Cray is available. Tony is available. The mayor obviously is here. We have a couple of guests. Cheryl is here, and Brian is on, and Greg. So,
Yep. Okay.
John Crane.
Join the meeting.
there you are, John. Oh. John, can you hear me?
Oh, loud and clear. Thank you.
Good. Okay, good.
Good.
All right. And if your computer unfreezes at any time, just let me know, and you can still sign on with it, even though you're on the phone.
Okay. Well, thanks.
Okay, with that, I'd like to call this
joint meeting of the Carefree Town Council and the Board of Directors of the Town of Carefree, Arizona Utilities Community Facilities District to order.
Okay,
Candace,
Steve.
would you please do a roll call if you haven't already?
Yep, I have Steve coming on with us right now. I also have you, Mayor, the Vice Mayor, Michael Cray, Tony Geiger, Cheryl Croyer, as well as Greg and Gary. And Brian is also with us tonight. And Stephen Hatcher just signed in.
Okay, good. So we have 6 of the council members in attendance, with the exception of Vince.
And he'll be with us shortly.
Okay, thank you. Let me know when he does. I'd like to go on to the agenda. Item number 1, review, discussion, and possible action by the Carefree Town Council to authorize the mayor to execute an assignment to the Town of Carefree, Arizona Utilities Community Facilities District of the intergovernmental agreement between the Town of Carefree and the Town of Cave Creek for the acquisition of the Carefree Service Area System from the Town of Cave Creek. Is there any questions or comments on this? I might ask the town attorney, Mr. Michael Wright, if he'd briefly just touch upon what this is, and then we'll go on for any questions or comments from council members.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. Good evening. This document is 1 page. It's a very simple assignment. And what it does is it assigns all of the rights that the town of Carefree has in the IGA to the Carefree UCFD. And the reason for this is because the 2 parties to the IGA are the town of Carefree and the town of Cave Creek. The Carefree UCFD is not a party to the IGA, but in the settlement agreement, there's a provision that will allow for termination of the IGA once certain work and stuff is accomplished. The problem is the town of Carefree is not a party to the settlement agreement. The UCFD is not a party to the IGA. So in order to solve those legal hurdles, this document is an assignment wherein the town of Carefree is assigning all of its rights in the IGA to the Carefree UCFD, which is the party to the settlement agreement with the town of
Eileen Wright. Join the meeting.
Go ahead.
That's all.
Thank you, Michael. Are there any questions or comments from council members? Hearing none, I would accept a motion to assign the rights from the town of Carefree to the UCFD, the Town of Carefree Utilities Community Facilities District for this specific transaction.
I'll make a motion.
I'll
I'll
second.
second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Candace, would you please poll the council members?
Yes, Council Member Croyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Council Member Geiger, how do you vote?
Aye.
Council Member Cray, how do you vote?
Aye.
Council Member Hatcher, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Crane, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mayor Peterson, how do you vote?
Yes,
And 1 absent.
and 1 absent. That passes by a vote of 6-0. Going on to item number 2. Review, discussion, and possible action by the Board of Directors of the Town of Carefree, Arizona Utilities Community Facilities District approving and authorizing the chairman of the Board of Directors to execute the settlement agreement between the Town of Carefree, Arizona Utilities Community Facilities District and the Town of Cave Creek. Now, I believe that all of you are aware of our previous discussions with regards to the settlement agreement. And are there any questions or comments?
Not at this time.
Before we vote, I'd like to just address a couple things here, and that is a bit of where we are and how we got here, and things that are on the table for us. The first thing I would point out, in addition to the right of condemnation, Carefree had a contractual right through the IGA to take over the water service for what we refer to as the Carefree service area. This is the western three areas and the western side of Cave Creek along, of Carefree along the Cave Creek border. The dispute which this settlement agreement is in regards to was over the valuation of the assets involved in the water service. It was not it is not a question of the right to condemn or to take that over, which was by a contract, the intergovernmental agreement. Carefree made offers based upon its evaluation, and none of those were accepted by Cave Creek. This led, as called for in the IGA, to arbitration by the American Arbitration Association, the AAA, as called for. And what this did essentially was let an outside panel of experts determine the value of the assets in the Carefree service area. So the question is, since the two towns didn't agree upon the value of the assets in the Carefree service area, what were the qualifications of the AAA panel to make such a determination? And let me talk about that just a little bit here. The two towns, Carefree and Cave Creek, reviewed the qualifications of over 35 candidates that were offered up by the AAA. From that, 3 were approved by both towns and unanimously selected to be the members of the 3-person arbitration panel. Let me talk about the qualifications of each one of those 3 arbitrators without specifying them by name. The chairman was a commercial arbitrator with the AAA for 28 years, serving on its commercial construction panel for large and complex cases. He was rated as a Southwest super lawyer and a member of Arizona's finest attorneys. Civil claims attorney for 36 years, where he had a focus upon commercial breach of contract claims. He has served as a mediator, a receiver to take over the affairs of a law firm embroiled in a dispute amongst its partners, and as a special master of an LLC dissolution. Arbitrator number 2 is a PhD Fulbright scholar, had a PhD in philosophy, then went into the legal profession. He was a deputy Maricopa County attorney for 4 years, a judge in the Maricopa County Superior Court for 9 years, and a judge in the Court of Appeals in the state of Arizona for 13 years. Arbitrator number 3 was in conjunction with lawyers who handle large, complex disputes, named to the AAA Master Mediator Panel for construction disputes, utilizing a rating committee made up of advocates and in-house counsel representing clients in complex, high-stakes construction disputes. He has 43 years of experience in construction law issues. He worked on hundreds of cases as a mediator, an arbitrator, and/or litigator. He is licensed to practice before the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals and the U.S. Supreme Court. All 3 of these people, as I mentioned previously, were screened. They were approved by both parties. They were extremely experienced, as this brief summary, which for each of them goes on for pages of their experience and credentials. All were very involved in all of the issues. We met, if I recall, it was 5 and most likely 6 full days where we had meetings and there were expert witnesses, cross-examinations, and at the end of those, the arbitration panel asked any questions which were before them that they didn't have a clear picture of what the issue was. They were thorough and they were dedicated. I recall one of them making a comment, literally, that he read all legal cases, which were cited 3 times, and all other materials twice. There were thousands of pages which were reviewed in this case. These were not novices. These were the best we could find collectively going in. And both towns put their trust in these arbitrators to come in after reviewing all of the pertinent information with a fair and just settlement. So that's a bit of the background on what we have here. It rendered its decision after extensive fact-finding and litigation, these 3 members of the panel. And what is the takeaway from this in terms of what they gave to us, and where do we go from here? And I think it's a question that both towns, Carefree and Cave Creek, have to ask ourselves, and that is, how do we work together better in the future? We can't let it get to this again. This was enormously time-consuming, expensive. It prevented us and our staffs from working on other pertinent issues. I mean, we have a lot of things in common. We're physically adjacent to one another. We have a joint municipal court. We are 2 of the 3 municipalities in the state that don't have the extensive level of fire coverages as the other 24 do. We have joint police, and we should be marketing together. We need to figure this out, just how we work together, because it would be beneficial to both towns and the residents that we have up here. Carefree would like to do this, and we hope at the end of this, we can work together collectively on this project to finish it, and then we can start a new beginning on where we go from here. That's all I have to say. Is there anyone else who has a question or comment?
Yeah, this is John Crane. I'm on the phone. And I would just say, no, the settlement agreement is not trivial. It's very complex. And if Carefree and Cave Creek can come to terms on that and sign it, I think it bodes well for what we can do together moving forward. Even if we don't necessarily, some things do them together, we can certainly learn from each other. So I'm looking forward to a good, strong working relationship with them.
Any other questions or comments?
I just want, Mr. Mayor, I just want to echo what you just said about the future and working together. You know, we came out here 12 years ago, and there was always this ongoing tension between the 2 towns. I never could understand it. But what I do know is if we don't make an attempt, you know, we're going to always get what we've always gotten. And I really hope that we will move forward together and try, perhaps again, to find a path to work collectively for both of our interests. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, I would accept a motion to approve the settlement agreement with Cave Creek.
I make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion before we vote?
Do we have to do it twice as the UCFD board and as the town?
No.
That was a no.
And this
Okay,
is
Candace, would you please poll the,
board members?
yes.
Yes. Board member Cray, how do you vote?
Aye.
Board member Croyer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Board member Hatcher, how do you vote?
Aye.
Board member Geiger, how do you vote?
Aye.
Vice Chair Crane, how do you vote?
Aye.
And Chairman Peterson, how do you vote?
Yes,
Did I miss anyone?
I don't believe so.
Thank you. One absent.
One absent, so that passes by a vote of 6-0. I would like to thank all those who have been involved in this effort on both sides. I think we've learned a lot. I would like to specifically thank our attorneys, our staff, members of the council, the Carefree Water Company, the UCFD. This has been a joint effort. It has been a very trying, time-consuming, but productive effort. And now let's focus our efforts on moving ahead and completing this project. So thank you all. And with that, do I have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a
So
motion.
moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you all. Have a good evening.